What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I got another video in our 2021 NBA Draft Player Comparison Series. Today I'm going to be looking at Evan Mobley versus Jalen Suggs. I think this could be a potential debate for who goes number 2 in this year's draft. Obviously I think a player like Jalen Green could also be in that conversation, but today I'm just going to be focusing on Evan Mobley and Jalen Suggs. I think, clearly this isn't the most ideal comparison between two players just because they play opposite positions of each other on the basketball court. One's a true point guard who plays the game kind of the right way, and then you have a center who is very raw but shows a ton of upside. And so I think ultimately it comes down to team needs possibly, and how the teams obviously view the two players. But with that being said, let's get into the comparison. So like I said, this isn't the most ideal comparison, but starting on the offensive side of the ball, I'll start with Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs to me is kind of a pure point guard. He's 6'4", super physical. We obviously know that he was a great football player in high school. That's been well documented. But he brings that same mentality to the basketball court on both the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, he's someone who loves to get downhill. He's fairly athletic, or probably an above average athlete for the point guard position. Like I said, loves to get downhill, loves to get to the hoop, loves contact, can absorb contact, finish through contact, and is willing to like I said, play through that contact when getting to the hoop. He's a capable ball handler for a point guard. He's not gonna bring the most flashy handles to the table or anything like that, but he's just solid in that area, and he's makes winning plays. He gets teammates involved. He knows how to play the point guard spot, and he competes really hard on that end of the floor. I don't think that can ever be really questioned with Jalen Suggs. And again, he makes a lot of the little plays that don't show up in the box score. He makes the right pass. He makes the right read. He knows how to set his teammates up. And so for me, he's kind of a pure point guard in the sense that not super flashy, not gonna do a lot of crazy stuff with the rock, but he's going to make the right plays. I think he's going to make his team better offensively. You compare that to someone like Evan Mobley, who's a 7-foot center who shows so many different skills and things that he can do with the basketball. Obviously, super raw right now, and needs to put on some weight so he can battle in the post on the offensive side of the ball. But he shows flashes of the ability to handle the ball at 7 foot tall. He's got super long arms. He shows ability to work in the post. He's shown flashes with the jump shot, and he really kind of shows a resemblance on the offensive side of the ball of someone like Anthony Davis if he's able to fill out. He's like I said, a really mobile, long, athletic center, 7-footer who like I said, shows all these ability. He's got good hands. He's got soft touch. He's got the ability to handle the ball. He's got the ability to step out and hit the occasional jump shot. And so that's really, where I guess the debate will come down to. Do you want, on the offensive side of the ball at least, do you want a player who is kind of a sure thing, in my opinion, someone like Jalen Suggs, because you know what you're getting? Or do you want a player like Evan Mobley, who's super raw, super high potential, but you don't know if he's going to ever put it all together? And so that's kind of the debate on the offensive side of the ball, I guess. It's, how much of a development do you want, and how much of kind of a sure thing do you want on the offensive side of the ball at least? So moving over to the defensive side of the ball, I think this is an area of the game where both these players can be really good. Again, starting with Jalen Suggs, he's someone who brings that football mentality to the basketball court, and he does that on the defensive side of the ball. He's a really physical defender. He is someone who could easily pick up 94 feet and cause havoc for the other team's point guard. He is someone who reads passing lanes really well, is able to jump those, get out into transition, and start getting easy buckets that way on the defensive side of the ball. And he's someone who I think is going to be capable of guarding, the 1 and the 2, and maybe, if other teams go really small, sometimes a 3, just because he's 6'4". He's built, really well, and so I think he could at least hold his own against some of the 3s in the league. I don't think that's obviously going to be the best matchup for him, but someone who's definitely, I think, able to guard 1s and 2s, and again, brings that football mentality, competes, and he just makes a lot of the little plays that win basketball games. And so I think that's huge for him on that end of the floor. You look at someone like Evan Mobley, again, 7 foot, insane wingspan, athletic, quick off the floor. Obviously needs to put on some weight to battle with some of the bigger centers in the NBA, someone like Joel Embiid. And we saw, what a player like Drew Timme was able to do to him in the NCAA tournament, someone who's kind of bigger bodied, got some skill to him. And so needs to put on some weight, needs to get, more physical on that end of the floor. But again, you look at the athleticism, the wingspan, the mobility, and then his ability to potentially, at least guard or contain switches. I think that he's a center who, again, has, the skill set to at least contain some of the guards in the NBA and won't be a complete liability in pick and rolls. And so I think that's huge for him. I think he's got all, defensive potential if he really wants to, dedicate himself to that end of the floor and can put on, the necessary weight to hold his own. I think Jalen Suggs also has, potential, all defensive team potential if he wants to dedicate himself to that end of the floor. And so both players, I think, have really bright spots on the defensive side of the ball. And I think it's really going to, again, come down to, what a team needs and how they view the prospects. So I think it will be really interesting to see how teams view these two prospects. I think that they both have, high ceilings in regard. I think Evan Mobley's someone who probably has a little bit of a higher ceiling than someone like Jalen Suggs. To me, Evan Mobley could be a player like Anthony Davis. He's got, the similar skill set to him. He's got the same size, length, all that stuff. And so there's a version of him, I think, where he does turn into an Anthony Davis type player. You also hear things about him, though, that he doesn't love basketball, that he kind of just played it because his brother played it, his dad's a coach, and so he kind of just tagged along, did what he did. He's obviously very good at it, but he doesn't really love it. He's one of those 7-footers who just played basketball because they're good at it, whatever. You compare that to someone like Jalen Suggs, who competes every day, and I think he's going to compete every possession in the NBA. And so he's someone who I think is more of a sure thing, maybe not the highest ceiling. To me, he's someone like Kyle Lowry later in his career. Obviously, he's more athletic than Kyle Lowry, but just someone who's going to do all the little things to win basketball games. Going to take a charge, going to pick you up, going to get into you. He's going to make the right play offensively. Probably won't, be someone averaging 35 a game in the playoffs, but he's going to be a point guard who you can rely on. That he's going to make the right play, and he's going to put you in, winning spots. And so I think that's just a really interesting debate between the two. Do you want, the kind of more sure thing, someone who can, get the job done, or do you want to go for the high upside, possible Anthony Davis, possible kind of role player type big man? I think that's going to be an interesting debate, and it'll be interesting to see, how teams view that. And so those are kind of my thoughts on the two players. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys later.